So our latest project with you at Newmarket in Suffolk has a profound story of migration and oppression at its heart, with the golden thread of music running through it. Why does music, and especially orchestral music, lend itself so well to exploring and celebrating powerful human stories like that, do you think?
Gosh, good question. I think because although there is possibly a narrative in orchestral music, I'm generalizing hugely, I think it's such a personal response. And when you embed it in a story as moving as the one that we told in Newmarket this week, to then have the music that's so integral to that story and was part of the life of the person that we were doing the project about. But it lives beyond that. The music will have there'll be an emotional response to it that's completely personal. It doesn't say what it is to everyone. It's just how it could be how something that you've experienced that day, or something last week, or it could jog a memory from 10 years ago, or just you don't know why, but it makes you feel mournful or joyful or like crying. To have Britten Symphonia performers play on Tuesday was just, it couldn't have been better, really. And I think every person in the audience had their own reaction to it, and I think that's why it's so powerful.
Yeah,
it works on so many levels, but it's very, very personal, and it can have. That's why I think it can have such a big impact.
And when you bring orchestral music into that context of really powerful storytelling, then it's another situation, isn't it, where people can just listen to music with open ears and without preconceptions, because it's relating to an emotion that isn't just about the music, but it's actually relating to someone's story and a different kind of context. I just think that's a really interesting way in which we can share the wonder of the orchestral genre, without it necessarily being the music as the starting point. The music is flowing from the story, and it actually brings people to a genre from a different angle. And I think that's really interesting and has a lot of potential for actually engaging with people that might not ordinarily think about listening to orchestral music or think it's relevant to them. But actually, in that kind of context, it was the sound world that was allied with the story and the words that actually added up to something special, wasn't it? It wasn't just about the piece itself, although they're all amazing pieces. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, and exactly that with the creative side as well. When the piece that's been written and then is played by an orchestra or alongside an orchestra, the impact is just huge, because the sort of emotional response is clear, because it's come from an emotional response in the first place. That's what's created it. And the ideas, because they belong to the participants, they've got ownership of that piece. You know, they wrote it. I orchestrated it, but they wrote it. It was their ideas. It was a blank page.
Yeah.
So when they're listening to it, they're already in with the story.